Hi everyone. My name is Wael Munir, and I am the commercial director for ITWorx Education. And today we are going to talk about our solution, Winjigo, which is a specialized solution. It's a learning management system that definitely we are looking forward to show it to you how it's gonna help, especially with those days with the COVID. So in today's agenda, we are going to talk about first we are going to talk about what's happening in the world, how the COVID pandemic changed all our lives, definitely including education, and definitely education was one of the biggest sectors that was heavily impacted with the current situation. Then we would like to show you how we worked with Ministry of Education here in United Arab Emirates and how we tackled the COVID situation and the pandemic, and the result we have seen uh, after implementing the e-learning solution and our solution with the Ministry of Education. And then we are going to talk about to give you an overview and a demo about our solution. So let me start first to give you a quick introduction about ourselves. So ITWorx Education is one of Microsoft education partners for many, many years, and we are a company that is specialized only in learning platforms and e-learning solution for more than 15 years now, and the company itself started more than 25 years ago. And we are specialized in learning solution, including K-12 learning management system, training management systems like Learning Curve, classroom management solution like TeacherKit and EduShare, which is a learning content management system to help you best organize your content. And we definitely work with mainly our biggest segment is K-12 schools, and we work with public education. So we have multiple, many implementation on a nationwide in multiple countries, not just Ministry of Education of UAE, and also we work in the domain of corporate learning. But now let's talk more about our topic of today, which is how the pandemic affected all of us, especially when it comes to learning, and how countries mitigated this risk, and what was the impact of the COVID into education sector to be specific. So let's start from the beginning. On February 2020, we are all got surprised with the pandemic, and suddenly most of the schools around the world has been grounded due to social distance and due to students not allowed to go to school. So all of a sudden, school find themselves need to either they have two options: either they can continue learning through distance learning and online learning, and unfortunately many other countries and many schools had to stop learning completely for a few months, especially the schools and the countries that was not well equipped and ready to do so. So many schools, because many schools was not ready to with learning solution, and they was looking into e-learning more as an optional thing or something like nice to have to add to the learning journey. So for those schools that was already adopting e-learning solution, definitely we cannot say that there was no impact at all. Definitely there's an impact because the necessity and the value of having the teacher directly interacting with the students cannot be overstated by any means. But for sure, if you have other alternative, you could have delivered a much better learning for your students and mitigate and reduce the risk for loss of education. One of the biggest challenges that happened in February, not just about the learning platforms and all of a sudden this change that impact us, also the teachers. Many teachers was not ready, has been always teachers since like forever, has been always teaching students directly inside the classroom. And a big part of the education was depending on the direct interaction between teachers and the students within the classroom. So What happened with the pandemic that all of a sudden this was not an option. The teachers and students was not physically located in one place. So in order for the teachers as well to adopt for distance learning and to be able to deliver learning as efficient as possible through distance learning, this was again one major challenge that we have seen our customers worldwide was struggling at. So if we try to translate this situation into numbers, one of the latest reports we have seen by McKinsey, which is one of the biggest independent consultancy firm worldwide, had already did a survey across more than 10 countries to see how was the pandemic affected the education. And they have seen a variety of impact. Definitely there was an impact. So they have reported that on average, around teachers see that students are around 2 months behind from where they was supposed to be if the learning was taking place in a traditional manner. This is the reason. So putting into consideration all the stoppage that took place, the speed of learning of physical education inside the school versus learning online learning, the availability of tools, all of this has result for many countries that students are a little bit behind where they are supposed to be from learning wise. And we for example, in this diagram, we see that the UK, for example, this is the teacher's opinion again, reported that they see students are around 2.8 months behind, and in Japan, they see they are around 0.9 months behind. But is it the same for all? So this is more of an average, like overall the impact of the pandemic on everyone, and especially in each country. But if we try to analyze this a little bit, we start to see that schools, maybe more, this report shows that private schools and well-equipped schools has a much better learning efficiency than some of the public schools in other countries and less equipped schools. So again, this definitely is a part of the readiness. Schools having an e-learning solution and depending on uh, adopting digital transformation into education definitely has a less impact on the student progress and had a much better efficiency in deliver e-learning solution. So again, and it's not just a part of the solution. It's a part of the solution. It's a part of the availability for devices. It's a part of the connectivity. So the more ready the schools was, the better education outcome they managed to get out of the e-learning. And finally, here I would like to highlight that we start seeing after many countries and ministries and many schools start adopting e-learning solution almost for a year now. We start to realize that many people are seeing this now as an opportunity rather than a necessity. So we have seen many, especially the radical thinkers, they start to see that the pandemic was actually a very good step to accelerate the long-awaited opportunity to innovate education. Because in education was actually one of the slowest sectors worldwide when it comes to adopting technology and in the transformation. If we see automotive industries, if we see banking, if we see telecommunication domains, many other domains has been very technologically advanced compared to the education. Education actually was one of the very slow adopting sectors in adopting technology. So many people now see that this pandemic was actually a good opportunity to adopt technology in education in a positive way. So we see now that many education institutes and many governments start to really think about how we can utilize and rethink the education and adopting how we can cope with a new era of learning. So, for example, we see many customers now start thinking about why do we have to go to schools every day? Should we go 5 days a week or should we adopt a more blended approach? Do we need to have all learning and all courses and all sessions to be physically taught at school, or we can adopt a blended learning in which a part of the learning can be done online through distance learning or self-paced learning, and a part will be done through physical education inside the school. There has been even more radical education institute that starts thinking about virtual school, completely virtual schools and virtual diplomas and virtual degrees. So we have seen many education customers in many countries start providing digital degrees now through fully online programs. Also, we have started seeing the necessity and people start focusing about the digital curriculum and the digital first approach. So the digital first is rather than we have been always starting with textbooks, and then we start taking from those textbooks to see how we can digitize and transform those textbooks into digital formats. So now after the high adoption of e-learning, we start talking about digital first. So we'll start from the digital content, from the digital curriculum, and if needed, we may need to print some of those books and we may not. Also, the reliability of the e-assessment. So e-assessment has been always taking place in a very controlled environment in a physical classroom. So now with the pandemic here, it started to open a lot of questions and discussions around assessment and how it can be done remotely and how it can be controlled remotely, and even how we assess our students. Is it going to be only a summative assessment, or it's going to be as well a formative assessment based on the students' outcomes, results, and collaboration and interaction within the e-learning. And finally, one of the takeaways we got from the COVID is how much it helps students to be more independent, students to self-learn, students to be accountable and responsible on their education. We see this as one of the main benefits of the e-learning implementation. So now allow me to, so this one, when it comes to the COVID, how it impacted us, what did the COVID do in the education domain, and how people start addressing COVID as an opportunity rather than a problem. So if we start applying this to the United Arab Emirates and how the government and Ministry of Education responded to the COVID situation. So actually UAE is one of the perfect examples because UAE is one of the very few countries in the world that didn't reduce the academic term at all. So we have seen most of the countries either reducing the academic term to a less duration, or they are reducing the curriculum, or they are even some countries want to cancel the entire term. So we are very proud to work with hand in hand with Ministry of Education of UAE to make sure that education was never stopped and learning was never stopped. So let me now show you just a very quick video about what happened, our collaboration with Ministry of Education of UAE, then we can definitely continue learning.
The year 2020 has transformed the world forever. All of us had to rethink the way we live. Most countries had to interrupt education to adapt to the challenges of COVID. UAE was ready to adapt.
I just want to make sure that you can hear the voice.
Adapt to this challenge. Starting in 2012, the Smart Learning program has brought distance learning technology into every classroom. The Ministry of Education has built a full digital ecosystem to support distance learning. Ministry of Education and ITWorx have collaborated to create the ultimate learning platform that students enjoy using. Winjigo enables students to study from anywhere and anytime by giving access to a wealth of learning resources. With its social collaboration tools, it bridges the physical distance between students, teachers, and parents. Gamified learning motivates students, engaging them to achieve excellent results. Parents can easily follow up on their children's day-to-day learning using their smartphones. We believe that learning needs to be facilitated, not directed. We believe learning never stops.
Thank you.
The year 20.
So just to give you an idea, we started with Ministry of Education back in 2012. So, and we believe that this is was one of the main reasons that the Ministry of Education of the UAE managed to have the least impact of the COVID compared to other customers, other clients and other countries, that because you was already having an e-learning solution, so they managed to quickly adapt to the new pandemic situation and the new way of learning. Of course, the usage of the platform definitely changed 180 degrees from the pre-pandemic to after the pandemic, with a very high dependency on e-learning. So we work quickly with the Ministry of Education to form a full ecosystem that is integrated with Microsoft Teams as the main virtual sessions in which teachers and students can easily have online audio and video session. And the solution is already integrated with the ministry SIS, which is called the Manhal. Maybe some of you are familiar with it. And also, we already integrated with many other education content providers like McGraw-Hill Alex, like McGraw-Hill Connect Ed, like Nahla and Nahla for Arabic, like Booklips, which is a video content, like Matific for Maths, like Twig for Science, and like Swift Assess, which is an assessment solution. So all together, we managed to formulate a full ecosystem, because e-learning, it's not just about a learning management system. It's not just about an SIS. It's not just about content provider, like solutions that specialize in a certain subject. So all of them constructed what's called by the ministry ecosystem, so the student, teachers, and parents can get everything they need from one place. They just log into Winjigo, which is the learning management system, and from Winjigo they can have access to any of those platforms and tools. And if we would like to see the impact of this more into a numerical value, we are serving more than 700 schools in UAE only, and more than 400,000 students. So we have more than 400,000 students and more than 700 schools just in the UAE. Just last year, there has been more than 1 billion transactions done into our platform, and more than 75 million collaboration between discussion or post or communication between teachers and students. More than 100 million assignments and activities has been solved by students, and more than 30 million material, online material and digital material has been read and studied from Winjigo. So now let's talk a little bit more about Winjigo. What is Winjigo? So Winjigo is, again, it's a proven social learning platform. And what I mean by proven here, we are not just saying this from like more of a marketing or anything. It's actually has been used now, just as I showed you, in Ministry of Education fully for e-learning. So all student, teachers, and parents can easily are using those solutions and are adopting this our solution in the UAE and many other countries. But maybe today I'm focusing in the UAE because we are all here based in the UAE. But our solution, by the way, is also adopted in Saudi. It's also adopted in Qatar. It's also adopted in Egypt. It's adopted in Latin America. We have also other customers in the US. It was adopted in Norway. So we have many customers across the world, not just the UAE. And what we've proven in this experience, that our solution showed how much reliable that it can be, addressing those tons of activities that's done by students and teachers on a daily basis without any technical problem, because we want our customers to focus more about the education and the pedagogy more, rather than about all the technical things that lie in the background and the servers availability and connectivity and all of this. We are sorting it out for you just to focus on learning. And again, our solution is integrated with Microsoft Teams to provide this robust and seamless distance learning, because Microsoft Teams are very powerful when it comes to audio video conferencing, but and you'll find Winjigo is very powerful when it comes to assessments, structured lesson plan, how we can create our curriculum in a structured way, how we can do a very rich kind of assessment with question banks and variety of question types that is auto graded, so students can we can easily assess our students capabilities and also save the teacher time. And again, many other collaboration features in the classroom. Before we used to have a classroom into between the students within one classroom and the teacher. So we now have a virtual space for this. And of course, how parents now are much more involved after the pandemic. Parents before was relying heavily on the school and the teachers to do all the learning. Now, the parent, because students are staying at home, so parents need to follow up on them and make sure they are studying things on time. So parents need to be involved. So also Winjigo has the ability for parents to go and follow up in depth about what their students learned, what are they supposed to learn, and overall, what is their timetable? Did they do their homework on time? They can receive notification and communication from the schools, as we are going to see. So if we'd like to summarize here, what does Winjigo, which is our learning management system here, offer? So I will start with the rich lesson planning. So Winjigo, it's a very rich tool when it comes to lesson planning. So it enables schools to do their course structures and divide it into the different units and lessons and add the material and so on, as we're going to see in our demo in a few moments. And also it supports fully teacher-based authoring or a blended model, what we call central course planning, in which like SMEs or head teachers can go and do the course structure, and this course can be rolled out across all teachers that are teaching the same language. So like this, we are saving the teacher time and at the same time ensures the quality of the material that will be shared with students and parents. Also, it comes with very extensive and diverse engagement and collaboration tools. So it has built-in discussions within the lesson flow itself. It's not just, there's plenty of discussion IT modules, but here how we are putting this, the discussion is a part of the learning journey, is a part of why we are learning any specific lesson. It has polls and surveys. It has announcements, so you can communicate easily. For example, you need to send announcement just for parents, so you can send an announcement for all parents about any new policy or update you would like to do so. It has one-to-one chatting, the community, gamification, so many engagement and collaboration. So the product itself is designed to maximize the engagement and the collaboration, especially when it comes to distance learning. And of course, our solutions are available anywhere, anytime, because it is hosted on Microsoft Azure. So you will find our solution work perfectly fine on all devices, including smartphones. And we actually have native apps as well for Android and iOS. So student, teachers, and parents can access e-learning directly from their smartphones. We have many assessment tools like assignments. All of the assignments are auto-graded. We have quizzes for more formal exams, and we even have what's called gamified assessment. So what we call it contest module, and this enables the students to compete and have solve their assessment as if it's a game. So again, focusing more into the engagement and how to make learning more appealing for both students and teachers as well, by the way. And for school admins, also the solution cover the most important daily operations. So it has a built-in attendance module, it has a built-in behavior recording module, has a timetable, it has an event, it has a grade book as well. So it actually automate as well all the daily operation for the schools, and the school management will have reports about how well the operation is working. And as I mentioned, finally, we support distance learning through Microsoft Teams integration. One of the things that we believe are core features we have are mobile learning. So students can actually learn anywhere, anytime because it supports offline access. So they can download their material on their phone or their tablet, and they can access it without internet anytime. They can store their homework from their tablet or smartphone, and they can receive live notifications. So if the teacher or anything was pushed for the student, they definitely will receive a live notification. We talked about parent engagement, but the parent again will be notified about their students' learning. The parent will be able to follow up on their student attendance behavior. The parent will be able to communicate with teachers and see his children skills and grades. He can even see the actual lessons, material, and the homeworks, and his child answers about every specific homework. And we also have those plenty of gamification features to make the learning much more engaging for students and teachers. So we have encouragement badges, we have a pointing system. The more students will learn and the more they will solve their homework in a timely manner, the more they will collaborate with their teachers, the more points they will get. And those points are designed in a pedagogical way. It is not just to drive the students just to use the solution. It drives them to use it efficiently in an academic and a pedagogical way. We have awards, we have contest modules as well. And of course, all of this, you will get it anywhere, anytime with a very user-friendly experience. Okay, so now let me show you the actual solution itself. So I will turn now to the demo environment we have. So this is, I'm now logged in with a student account. And as you can see, as a student, I will directly see the different subjects that has been assigned to me. And automatically I can press like continue learning at any point of time. And the system, I will start resuming my work from where I stopped last time. So here, for example, I see there was an assessment, and I can see this is the answer I did and it was wrong, and this is the right answer, and my score in this assignment. Then I can press next and start seeing a video-based material from madrasa, for example, or any source. Then I can see another assessment. So this is the first way students can see their assessment. Another approach will be, if I just press on the subject, this is another gamified view for the course. So we visualize the course to make it more engaging for students, and especially the smaller age students, as if it's a game. So the lesson one is gonna be, which is vocabulary, so as if it's level one, not lesson one. And in order to go from lesson one to lesson two, which is about writing, I have to do 1, 2, or 3 assessments. The assessment that I will manage to pass successfully is gonna be marked with green. And if I didn't manage to pass the assessment, pass the score, the passing score for those assessments is gonna be marked as red. And once I click on the lesson, I will start see the different material that is assigned for me to study here, and I can see what I have seen and what's not. Also, I can see all my homeworks and activities and the overall grade for those homeworks. I can see my awards that my teacher granted them for me. I can see as well, or I can communicate with my teacher. I have a one-to-one chatting here available to communicate directly with my teacher or with my colleagues and students within the same classroom. So for any student, I can chat with him directly as well. Of course, in addition to sending them emails. And definitely we have here what's called the classroom collaboration wall. So students, all the students that are teaching English grade 7A, here they can collaborate with each other. That's why in a social way, like Facebook, but specialized in education. So you will find, can anyone help me with the grammar homework? And maybe someone will mark it as useful. The teacher make it mark this one, and students and teachers and students can collaborate with each other, and this promotes peer learning for students to learn from each other. Also, students can see the overall progress across all lessons, and as well they can see their timetable as you can see here, and you can navigate between them. Now, if I move to the teacher account, so here we have English grade 7 course. So as you can see here, this is the course structure. So it can be divided into unit and lesson, and teachers can easily add a unit or lesson anywhere. And whenever it comes to adding a material, you will find our platform very, very rich when it comes to the kind of material you can add it for students and teachers. So you can add YouTube, you can add files from your desktop, links, SCORM files, HTML files. Nafham is a free library of content, video. You can add external links. If you're already dealing with any content provider, Pearson, McGraw-Hill, any provider that you already have their content, we support external tools, seamless integration with zero code. So you can plug in your provider directly integrated within our platform. We also have a variety of assessment tools and variety of collaboration tools. And here's the collaboration tools are contextual within the course. So if I would like, for example, to, after doing this activity, or let's say we are going to see this video, and after this video, we want to recap, or every student should say his opinion about what he learned here. So we can add a discussion as a part of the lesson flow itself, rather than a social collaboration, as we have seen on the first page, which is the homepage. So the homepage is more for social collaboration, and we have discussion within the lesson context as well. And of course, the solution as well supports voice notes, so you can record voice notes anywhere. And it has question banks. It has, if we see something like questions here, we have a variety of question types between classical question, essay question, comprehension question, and even you can import random question from your question banks. And again, here you can also have polls and surveys as a part of your lesson flow. Also, we can see here, I can see my calendar and timetable. I can collaborate. I have social space, so we can have, for example, in spaces you'll find something like parents committee space. So for parents committee, you can create a space for all parents to go and collaborate, and you can create another space maybe for subject areas. So English teachers can have their own space to collaborate together. If you have a science club or a technology club, you can create a club here and add all the students within this club to go and again collaborate, share resources, share their photos, having events with each other, and so on. So we have those social collaboration spaces that are you can use it in many various educational ways. I see that we already running out of time. So this is the main thing I had to focus. I wanted to focus on today, but definitely the solution is much more richer than that. It has many other capabilities. Maybe we don't have enough time to discuss and show you all the capabilities when it comes to the ease of administration, the reporting capabilities, how the principals and the head teachers and the academic vice principals can follow up on the progress of all classroom. They can see the different reports about the school operation. They can see the academical reports. All material are linked to learning outcomes. So you can see as well reports about learning outcome coverage for your curriculum. You can see the mastery level of the students in every curriculum. Students can see the student progress, how many times they logged in and how many times they visited this course. Teachers can even see for every single resource who are the students that viewed and answered, viewed any material. So the teacher has the ability to follow up on his student who is studying and who is not. He can record the attendance for his students. He can see the progress for his students across all assessments. And also we have the OneDrive integration. So the solution is seamlessly integrated with Office 365. So first, if you already have an Office 365, you can log in with the same username and password. You don't have to create any new accounts or any new usernames or emails for the student. You can utilize the existing account you have. And also, as you can see here, when I'm adding a lesson, I have the option called live lesson. If I created a live lesson, for example, today at, let's say, 2 p.m., so automatically the solution will create a Teams meeting request for all the students. And students can join directly from the live sessions. So if you can see here, for me as a student, if I go to my notifications, I will see that there is a live session here that has been added by my teacher. And all what I have to do is just press attend live session. So automatically the students will have not just their material and their homeworks from Winjigo, they even have the live session with their teachers directly from the platform. And you can see here virtual session. This is the grammar lesson, and I will be able to join direct from here with a single sign on, uh, without me needing to enter another username and password or do anything. So it's a very seamless experience. And even if this session is recorded, if I go back into here to the platform, I will find the recorded auto uploaded into my session. And also, if me as a teacher, I uploaded any material on OneDrive, you will find here all the material uploaded on the Teams uploaded and accessible for me directly from the platform itself. So in order to just now to conclude, so what do we offer here? So we offer Winjigo. Winjigo we call it SaaS ready, which is software as a service. So it's a ready-to-use cloud-based solution. It is hosted on top of Microsoft Azure. So this ensures the maximum reliability and the best performance and accessibility from anywhere. It's a very easy-to-use solution, but still we are providing 3 days online free training for every new school included into within our offering, and also we offer an online support for all our schools free of charge. And one last thing, the solution is already compatible and integrated with many content providers. Those are just a sample of our publishers and partners that provide dedicated or specialized solution for a specific subject. So the solution is already integrated with McGraw-Hill Alex, which is an adaptive mass learning platform, with McGraw-Hill Connect Ed, which is again another British curriculum American curriculum platform that you can utilize it directly from from Winjigo. We already integrated with Matific, which is one of the leading math platforms worldwide and in the region. Makers empires for 3D to help or to teach students 3D design and 3D printing. Book Lips for education content, Twig for science content, Nehla Nahla for to teach Arabic language, and Yanmu, which is a platform specialized in special education needs and building special plans for special education needs students. So on top of the platform, we can also help your school with any kind of content that you would like. Finally, I would like to thank you very much for your time, and I hope we managed to cover all of the aspects of the solution that you was looking forward to see. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions into here, and definitely I can answer any of your questions if you have any. Okay, thank you very much, and hope you enjoy the session.